Nationalism in Japan is rising and rising super quick. We're seeing that as of now. So if the right-wing parties in Japan want to hold power and keep it, they must figure out a way to coexist with the rest of the world. Because Japan first and Japan the best philosophy has failed in the past. It's the same with the Nazi Germany. Nazi people are the best, German people are the best, and they failed. Okay, they call those wars, they call those ideologies into the reality, and they failed. So did Japan. So if Japan wants to become a right-wing state with a right-wing party in power, and they want to hold on to it, they must come up with some form of lenient ways to deal with the rest of the world. No matter how you deny it, Japan is still a great country. Japan is still a great economical power on the world. Alright? We all know that. So, if the right-wing parties came to power in 2028 general election, they must change their philosophy. So the first thing they have to do is this. They must find a way to coexist with the rising superpower, China. They can't go against China like they used to before in World War II, and the rest of its former colonies in Asia as well. Everyone who was once captured or conquered or enslaved by the Japanese Empire in World War II are looking at Japan with caution. And this time, this is an internet age, okay? This is the internet age, the digital age. Whatever happens so quick. So when you see the ultra superior racial philosophy guys are acting tough again, the rest of the world listens. As a global citizen, myself, I don't want to see another racial philosophy taking over and destroying the world again. And I really assume the rest of the countries on the world think the same. So, if they want to stay in power, they must learn a way to deal with other financial sectors, financial markets in the world like Southeast Asia. And not just financial, and also consumer markets in Southeast Asia. And also the entirety of India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, they must find a way to deal with them. This is no longer the 20th century anymore. Nobody cares if you think you are superior than others. Nobody, right? So they must tone down the rhetoric of being the superior people over the planet. They must, if they want to coexist with the rest of the world. And nobody is going to be called inferior by another person. That age is gone. So that's the thing the right-wing parties in Japan must fix or must find a solution. Right? Look at Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump is a right-wing, nationalistic, patriotic American for sure. And he still has some liberal ideas with him. That's why the entire world doesn't hate him, even though he may act erratic in times of global conflicts. So if you want to hold on to power in Japan for a long period of time, these right-wing parties must tone down their rhetoric. Okay? Talking about the Nanjing massacre didn't happen, or let's have a nuclear bomb in Japan. Yeah, those things are pretty dangerous ideas. You need to tone down those rhetorics if you want to go into power and be in power. That's something you should do. And also pick a fight that you can win if you ever come to power. Don't pick a fight with China and expect to win, all right? Look at United States. Which enemies did he choose when Trump came into office again for the second time? He chose smaller nations as his enemies, as his battlefield to conquer, right? That's what he did. So Japan right-wing people, if you want to show your people that the right-wing parties in Japan are indeed strong and show militaristic success, pick some smaller countries. Don't pick China and expect to win against China. For example, you can go against, I don't know, North Korea, but you can't go against North Korea, can ya? Because North Korea has nuclear weapons. And you can't go against South Korea as well, because if you go against South Korea, you will be the bad guy again. And also South Korea right now is another colony of United States. So as a colony yourself, Japan must, keep some respect because the Uncle Sam is watching you. These are the things you must do if you want to stay in power, right? And you can also piss off the United States. No matter how United States is falling from the #1 spot, the United States is still one of the strongest, right? So you have to get along with the United States as well. Therefore, you cannot entirely abandon liberal ideas. You still have to keep your liberal ideas in check as well. So if you really want to beef up your military, beef up your army, and make Japan in top 5 again, I get the sentiment. All right, do it. Just don't find a reason to go to war against other countries. Just beef your military up, right? That's something you can do. Find a legal loophole with the treaties with the United States. Find a legal loophole, right? You guys are smart. Figure it out and build your military. Become number 5 in the entire world again, or 4. Yeah, why not? Just do that, and your people will be pleased with your right-wing ideology success. Since you're doing that, your people will have more jobs in weapons manufacturing, airplanes making, tanks making production lines, right? All these people will be employed, and even the designers who will design new tanks will have new jobs, right? So follow your master's plan. Use the military-industrial complex like United States to fund your nation. Do something like that, right? Instead of going to war with someone, do something like that. If you can do these things, you will probably maintain your power in Japan in 2028. These right-wing ideologies are fun to play with, but don't get too lost in these ideologies, okay? They can turn you fascist again. Yeah. So, the path to power. Yeah, Japanese people are really nationalistic. So you will get your power soon enough. Just don't play too much with the extremism. If you do that, you will possibly rule Japan for 3 terms, possibly 20 years. Just don't pick fights with people you cannot win.